beautiful beaders, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and I'm back today with another unboxing. It's that kind of a week. I am here with two of the single clubs from Adornable Elements Beads of the Month clubs. I have the Hot and Trendy and the 2-hole Beads of the Month club here in my hand that we're going to open up. As I mentioned, these are the single clubs. The price on these is about $22.95 each, and shipping runs around the $5 mark and goes up a little bit depending on how many clubs you sign up for. They do have a total of 6 different clubs that they offer, and you can even sign up for a rotating club that will rotate you through all of those, and you'll get a different type every month. If you're curious about the subscription, I definitely recommend you check out their website, which I will link to down below. And I also do have a coupon code if you want to save 10% off your first subscription off the first month. You can use the code OPAL10, OPAL10, that'll save you 10% off. So also right here I have their new Findings companion pack for the month of December. So I'll be sharing this too after we take a look at the beads. Every month you get 8 containers in each of these clubs, and if you're a double club member you will get twice as many beads as you will see here. Also, the themes could vary from month to month, so even if we're both signed up for, say, the Hot and Trendy club, it's possible that you get a different theme or color combination. It just all depends on what they have in stock at the time. It's really a tie as to which one I want to open up first, so since this one's on the top, we'll go ahead and go with this one. I just popped these out of the mailer because I had some bags of gold included this month as well. If you're not familiar with that, I will try to link to last year's video that explains that, and I will share those in a different video. So what I'm trying to say is I really don't know exactly what's in here. Of course, I see what our theme is here, and probably we're going to have a lot of blues, I would think, and some teals, and we do. So here is our collection this month of the 8 containers. And by the way, I love the fact that they come in these containers. I use them as part of my bead storage, so it's always handy. So I'm going to pop these out and we will take a look at them one by one. Alright, so here is the list of what's included in this month's Hot and Trendy club that I will be sharing. So the whole purpose of this club is that they'll send some newer shapes, newer finishes, beads that are maybe newer on the market, not as common, which is something that's not for everybody, but it definitely inspires me. I love playing with all the new shapes and getting the monthly surprise. It really helps with my creativity and inspiration. So let's go ahead and go down the list. The first thing we see here is we are going to be looking at the aluminum silver semicircle. We can tell what everything is easily by these little codes right here. They do correspond to the code that is labeled on the container. So here's the container of those semicircles, and it looks like these are 2-hole beads. So here's a close-up look at those. You can see the holes are running up and down through those beads just like that. I love this classic silver finish. It's really going to go with so many different things. And it's not like a mirrored silver, it's a little bit more toned down. Alright, so our next container contains also the same silver tone. These are the aluminum silver cube beads. And if I were to guess, I'd say these are probably about 6 millimeters in size. So it'd be interesting to use these maybe in a pattern where you normally would have used the Chinese crystal cubes. So that's something that I will be playing with for sure. You can see these are just 1-hole beads. They are the same on all sides. The finish is so smooth, and of course that's what you expect from these high quality check glass beads, and anything really from Adornable Elements. You know you're going to get a very high quality product. This is definitely not one of your bargain boxes, so that's something you'll want to take into consideration if you're deciding on which box to sign up for. But here is our third container. That looks really interesting. It says that these are jet and turquoise laser checkerboard daggers. Oh my goodness, look at that. These are very interesting. I don't know why they remind me of like little neckties though. I think these could look really cool in a project. It just would have to be the right one. I don't think I've ever seen the checkerboard pattern on the daggers, but I could be wrong. Either way, I'm excited to have something different. Definitely not something I would have picked out on my own, but sometimes those are what makes the best projects from my experience. And here's our next container. It says these are turquoise blue AB Rizzo beads. So I'm not new to this shape at all. These are those little rice-shaped oblong beads with a hole that runs through the top or through one side. It's a very pretty color of light kind of baby blue with AB finish on one side of the bead, which makes them look just a little bit iridescent and beautiful. I have Rizzo beads. I don't play with them much. I probably should pull them out. I know that for one thing, they can make a great little fringe because of the way they're shaped and the way that the hole's drilled. All right, next up it looks like we have a container of octo beads. I really enjoy getting these. These are a 3-hole bead. And I have played with this shape before. This is another fun one. You can see the 3 holes there that run parallel through the center of the bead. And you can see why it's got the name octo. It's got the 8 little sides on there and the little indented octagon on either side of the centers. Very pretty glossy light blue. Once again, goes really well with our theme. They always do such a great job with their color coordination and picking out these clubs very carefully. So here is the next container, and this says these are turquoise green blue marble tea beads. These are something I definitely don't have not received or purchased on my own. You can see why they're called tea beads though. They've got that little T shape, and there is the hole there running through the center. You can see the top side there is just a little bit wider than this bottom portion. Absolutely gorgeous color. I love the look of that blue marbling over top of the turquoise. And getting something very new and different to me like this inspires me to think outside of the box and find other ways to use these interesting beads. It's a nice challenge for me because now that I have them, I'm definitely going to use them. Our next container holds some turquoise green English cut beads. These are quite small. I love the color. It's one of my favorite colors anyway. I'm really drawn to working with it. And these remind me a little bit of Czech glass fire polish in a way, but they are quite different the way that they are cut, which is really hard to tell on such a tiny bead. But it's kind of like they've got 5 sides with a center ridge. So something you could really use in the place of small round beads, and they would just add a little bit of extra texture. And here's our last container, and this one is full of some flat black teardrops. So I'm not really sure why these would be considered hot and trendy, but that doesn't really matter to me because I'm a huge fan of this shape. I've used these a lot, and you've seen me use these a lot in the past. These flat teardrops, you can see the hole that runs through the top. And I just love them on bead weaving, like the bottoms of necklaces. And I had gone through a lot of what I had. And black, of course, you can't go wrong with a basic color like that. So I'm really glad to have some more of those. So that is everything for the single Hot and Trendy Beads of the Month Club, the one I received at least for December 2019 in the Arctic Waters theme. I think they did a wonderful job. I always love the subscription. They're not paying me to make these videos or anything like that. I've just been a loyal subscriber of theirs for over a year and a half now. If you've been with me for a while, you know I used to get their rotating club in the double instead of the single. And what I was finding was I loved those clubs, thought they were great, but I wanted to do something different. And I found myself being just extra excited about the Hot and Trendy Club and the 2-hole club. So that's why I made the switch. The other thing I was finding for me personally was they are really generous with the quantities of the beads. So even with the single club, I find that I have more than enough to use in a project, usually more than one project. So I thought it'd be fun for a little while at least to get more types of beads in smaller quantities, especially when they are more of these different shapes and finishes. So enough about that. I know you're here to see more beads. I'm going to clean this up real quick and then we're going to get into the 2-hole Beads of the Month Club. Alright, so here we have the 2-hole Beads of the Month Club, and it looks like the theme is called Artisan. So let's turn this over and see what our palette is. Gorgeous! I can't wait to dig into these. Looks like we have some beautiful colors up here and then some neutrals at the bottom, which is always great. So let me take these out and we'll go through each of these as well. So once again, here's the list of everything that's included in the 2-hole Beads of the Month Club in case you want to refer back to it. We're going to first take a look at some super duos. Looks like they are turquoise blue Picasso. And here's that container, still a generous amount in the single club. This one contains 12.5 grams. And here's a close look at these so you can really appreciate that Picasso finish. Not only is the turquoise beautiful, but that finish just really steps it up a notch. There also seems to be just a little bit of a luster on these beads also, so they would normally be pretty shiny. They seem to be a little bit extra glossy. If you haven't worked with 2-hole beads yet, super duos I think are a great start into, I should say down that rabbit hole, but a good start in that direction. There's so many different patterns out there and ways you can use these. So here is the next little container we have, and it says this one holds turquoise blue Picasso table cut silkies. These are some of my favorite. I actually had just gotten a few of these in red to make another project. Actually, Here's the project and one example of what you can do with silkies. I created this design. I will be doing a tutorial on it sometime this month. So these are also table cut silky beads, just in a bright yellow. But back to this container. Obviously I enjoy these. The color is beautiful. I'm a big fan of table cut beads, especially when they're in very bright, vibrant colors like that. I love the way that it shows off those colors, but then it's also framed usually by like a travertine or some type of finish on the sides that really makes that bright color stand out. You can see that on one side of these beads it has that little X design, and then the other side is the flat table cut color. And these are a little bit different than, say, your 2-hole tile beads, just because the holes are drilled more on the diagonal, where they are following 2 ends of the square as opposed to going straight up and down and following parallel with the edges. Very happy with those. Here is our third selection. These are called Turquoise Green Copper Splash Gem Duos, which coincidentally I will be sharing another design this month using the gem duos. You can see the hot pink ones I received from Adornable Elements, as well as these candy beads. They were both 2-hole beads in a previous month, so that was a lot of fun. And like I said, inspired me to create something new with the beads that come in these clubs. So these are another gorgeous shade of turquoise, and look at that copper splash on those beads. It's just beautiful, that metallic that's just speckled over the top, and it is on both sides. So there you can see the 2 holes of the beads, how they run across each end of our little diamond there. And so far it's kind of nice because some of these colors are actually coordinating with the other theme we just saw in the Hot and Trendy Club. So here's container 4 out of 8 on this one. These look like some honeycomb beads. And in that same beautiful combination we just saw on the gem duos. It's the turquoise green copper splash. Really loving that color combination. You can see the beads here have 6 sides, and that's where the holes are located on these particular beads. I won't pull it out, but I also have another bracelet tutorial coming soon using the honeycombs also. Next up, we have a color change here. These are the Storm Duos, and the color is copper. Love this metallic finish. Not super shiny, but definitely has the copper metallic look. The color reminds me of a brand new penny. We have that really interesting Storm Duo shape here. It looks like the little hurricane symbol, and there's where the holes are located. And these are going to look so nice, especially if combined with something like these 2 back here with that little copper splash on it. And now we're getting into our neutrals, it looks like. So the first one we have here contains Chalk Picasso, Cheops Par Puka. And this is a great finish that these have. Reminds me a little bit of the honey drizzle that I'd gotten before. Very luminous. You can see the splotches of that deeper tan or golden color. Really elevates the look of these beads. Here are the 2 holes on the bottom that go up through the peak of the triangle. And they have a beautiful luster on them too, that you can see as I move them around under the light. And then we get to this selection, which contains some kite beads. And these are just like the name says, they are a kite shape. So they're not really diamonds, like where they are equilateral. They have that longer point on the bottom and the shorter point on the top. And there's the holes there running directly across from one side to the other. Color on these is very neutral, just a light kind of bone color. And these are in the chalk beige luster. So chalk, just like the color we saw before, except it doesn't have that Picasso finish over the top. And then our final container out of this group, and this contains Chalk Beige Luster Paisley Duos, another great shape. So very similar in color to the ones that we saw before. It's hard to tell, but these have just the tiniest bit more of a peachy look to them than the kite beads. There is that paisley shape, and again the 2 holes running across the bead from one side to the other. So as I expected, very happy again with the 2-hole Beads of the Month Club, just like I was with the Hot and Trendy. I'm really enjoying getting such a wide variety of different shapes and color finishes, and I love the fact that even though not really intentional, there's a lot of things here that can go with the beads in the Hot and Trendy Club. So let me put these beads back, and then we'll take a quick look at the Findings Companion Pack this month, and then we'll wrap up. Alright, so the Findings Companion Pack is something newer that Adornable Elements has rolled out. It's a $12.95 per month add-on, so you can choose to add it on if you have an existing bead subscription. And all the finishes are color coordinated each month. They're always very high quality. They do take that very seriously. And you will get a rotating selection of colors. So this month we got silver. Last month we actually received a pack of black findings, which I had no idea I would like the black findings as much as I did. I ended up using a clasp and some jump rings here on this bracelet that I had made. So let's see what we have in here in this bag. It looks like we have some post earrings that are beautiful. But first we have 15 of these 21 gauge 2-inch nickel head pins. And by the way, it looks like these are tiara cast findings in an antique silver plating. And here are our post earrings. Isn't that beautiful? They're all little roses. Beautiful quality. And I love that you get enough to make 2 pair of earrings. Not only that, they do include the backs for you as well, so that'll come in handy. And here's more of those tiara cast findings. We have 2 different toggle clasp sets, kind of all following along with that rose and leafy theme. So here's the first one. I had those bars switched. See our beautiful leaves and detail carved in there. And then here's another one. This is just a little bit smaller, and they are double-sided. And then we have a 3-sided link also with the beautiful carved rose and leaf design. And there's a look at the back. And a set of very substantial 18 gauge jump rings. There's 15 pieces here, which is very handy. And last but not least, we have 30 inches of this antique silver plated steel chain. Here's a close-up look at that. You can see even the links have little details on them. This is gorgeous. I'll have to save that for something special. So that's everything for December's Hot and Trendy and 2 whole beads of the month club, plus the extra findings companion pack that I received for the month of December. And I also don't want to forget to point out that they do give out a free patterns page link each and every month. If you're a subscriber, you have access to that to check out some inspiration, maybe a project you can complete using some of the beads you received that month. As a reminder, you can use the coupon code OPAL10 to save 10% off your first month of your first subscription. If this is something that you'd like to sign up for, as usual, I'm not here to sell you a box. I'm just here to share the fun of unboxing these items with you and give you guys a close-up look at what these subscriptions are all about. So I encourage you to check out their website for yourself. If you want to know more details, you can find out everything you need to know right there, as well as more specifics about the different clubs that they offer, the pricing, and the types of beads that are included. I do want to mention that their office is closed this week through December 13th. They will open back up after that. So at this time, they're not answering any calls or emails, and all new orders are going to be shipped immediately once they return on the 14th. And their customer service is excellent. So if you ever have a question or need anything, definitely feel free to reach out to them. They will get back to you. They're extremely helpful and customer oriented. So I hope you enjoyed seeing what was in these 2 clubs as well as the Findings Companion Pack. I will be back with much more, and I'm sure you'll start to see some of these beads popping up in future designs. So thank you so much for being with me. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. And as always, happy beading. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can check out the information section below this video for links to all my social media handles, recommended products, and my shop and blog at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching.